by presenting Cristina Atru, who is Associate Professor at the Dimitri Cantemir Christian University in Bucharest. She got her PhD in philology at the University of Bucharest with a thesis on the influence of English language on the present-day Romanian regarding the economic and business language. We're quite interested in that because we work a lot on economic and business language at our in our courses. Besides teaching, she has been involved in scientific projects and served as reviewer for various national and international journals. She has authored books and university readers in the specialized fields, published scientific papers for national and international conferences, and has also translated articles for the faculty or university. Today, she is going to speak of the role of social media in everyday life. Thank you, Cristina. You have the floor.
Yes, I have the floor, but I have a slight problem here. I try to do my best. There's a problem with my laptop. Just a sec.
Yes. Beneath, there's a green share, condividere lo schermo.
Yes, I found just no, didn't.
Mai devreme ai reușit că să vedem.
Da, share screen aici, dar nu găseam de pe desktop.
Nu, dar prima oară trebuie să ți-l deschizi, să-l lași în bară și după aia îl share-uiești.
Hai să încerc. Nu știu de ce. Așa. Și să vedem. Aici. Vrei să-l deschid pe el? Hai să-l deschid. Da. Can you see it?
Nu, acum trebuie să-i dai share screen. După ce l-ai deschis, dai share screen și alegi căsuța cu el.
Just a sec.
Follow the green buttons. You have to accept. Share screen, accept, and then open your file.
Yes, just a sec.
Okay.
Share screen. No, I cannot. No, it's something wrong, but I don't know what. Oh, here. Share. Share. Now, is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's very good. Small problems.
If you want to put presentation form.
Yes. Is it? Yes. Okay. Right. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so now we are going to speak about I'm going to speak to you about social media and especially social media networks because they are very fashionable now. So I'm going to go into it as well. So you know that the existence of social media networks has both benefits and drawbacks, and we should be very much aware of them. And so we pay careful attention to both sides. These social media networks have profoundly changed the way in which we perceive the world nowadays, allowing us to stay connected to each other, but also making us feel more and more insecure and vulnerable. So, the role of social media is primarily to connect people, and of course is very valuable. It's a tool designed to connect people worldwide, and its other function is to connect those people with ideas, services, products, and answers they may be searching for. For business, it's very, very important, of course. And I mentioned here that business have succeeded in wooing clients with this social media, establishing long-term relationship with them in a bond where both parties benefit. However, it is evident that social media success relies heavily on effective social media communication. Now, Technology and media are interwoven, and they cannot be separated from contemporary society in any way or from each other. So it's very important that the term media refers to any means of communication that can deliver information, consisting of the radio, television, newspaper, internet, and magazines. If we speak now to our students, we are very much aware of the fact that they seldom use newspapers and magazines because they have the internet, and via internet they find out everything they are interested in. Now, as for the next thing, as for the radio is concerned, many people, we know that they don't listen to the radio just to find news, but to listen to their favorite music or to, I don't know what radio program they are interested in. Now, as for television, the young people watch less and less or spend very few hours in front of the TV set because they have their films on the internet. Maybe they watch televisions, I don't know, girls for soap operas if they are more sentimental, and boys for special sports competition. Okay, there is another problem with watching TV. The fact that the advertising campaigns, the commercials, take too much of our time. And that's why we lose interest in watching that film or that program many times, and when we take part in different other activities. I chose here two old TV sets, as you can see, and that type of radio, I think, is very, very old. One can find that piece of art only in grandparents' houses, or I don't know in what other type of museum. Now the next one is about films. The next slide is about films because people, now let's hint at this period that when we are caged somehow, and we can no longer go to watch movies in towns. We don't go to malls to watch a film, to socialize there. Nevertheless, we find interesting films on different channels, or, as I told you, on the internet. So here is a piece of information about the film industry that took off in the 1930s, when color and sound were first integrated into feature films. Okay, cinema is often visited by young people who find it appealing because they need that socializing factor. But now, as I told you, everything is banned. There are also some people who download movies for free from the internet, even though it can be dangerous because of viruses. But this is a custom, and we don't want to give it up. Now, about social media, you know that it was defined as a group of internet-based applications, and was built on the ideological and technological foundations, allowing the creation of the creation and even exchange of user-generated content. Social media is based on interaction and between users and their ability to generate contact, more precisely to share the opinion of others. There are a number of common elements specific to several existing social networks. And there is the possibility for users to appreciate or comment a text or contact, the possibility of creating and disseminating their own content or taken from other users, as well as the ability to recommend content to the others. Social media has grown explosively and, of course, grants special attention to each and every user of the users who have equal rights with all other participants and can express them in their answers, comments, appreciations, critical statements, sharing information with other users, making friends via these networks. Okay, social media networks are usually addressed to groups of people. These groups of people are made on platforms. These people usually have similar occupations, similar ideas, common interests, and that's why they group together. They want to share their opinions, to give piece of advice, to get other pieces of advice from their friends, from the company, from the people who belong to that group. Creating groups in the online environment is a common practice nowadays, and we are very much aware of this. And if we realize that we do not share the same ideas, or that we are a little bit left aside by other members of the group, okay, we give up that cluster of people, that group of people. But it's very good that people share impression about their individual lives, even if it's by virtual means, this issue and this possibility makes people feel happier. Under these circumstances, it's quite necessary. So use social media communication to create a good image. This is, again, very, very important, because the way you communicate to people mirrors your personality. In fact, it's very important, the language, the accuracy of the language you communicate into, the way you communicate to people in a formal or informal way. So it depends either on the issue or on your profile as an individual. So I mentioned there that you can present a polished image all across these platforms. And these platforms include blogs, websites, and other social networking platforms that you use, of course, to communicate with your customer, with your friends. And this is achievable by providing people with regular, up-to-date, clean, or neat engaging posts. And you should have in mind always that whatever you write or post on these platforms has a lasting impression in the reader's mind. There is an old saying, verba volant scripta manent, and it's very, very present nowadays as well, because you may say many different things and they may go into oblivion for your listeners, for your audience. Whereas if you write whatever you have uploaded, It's for everybody to consider, it's for everybody to see. So whatever you write there reflects your intellectual level, reflects your personality as well. So everything should be very well thought and very accurate. So social media should not be seen primarily as platforms upon which people post, but rather as the contents that are posted on these platforms, as I mentioned previously. In other words, social media networks are web services designed to create virtual links between users with social, commercial, political, and educational applications. Most of the times, they offer a new horizon to be explored by people all over the world. There is something written there: don't use social media to impress people, use it to impact people. So that's why I consider that whatever you write or whatever you say should be I'm going to say again, a mirror or a reflection of yourself. Because if you start by boasting about things, if you go into details, maybe you fail here and there, and you may reveal, even if you don't want, you reveal your real self, and it would be by all means a fake. Okay, the next one. Now, what we can see in this photo is that everybody in the subway uses smartphones, right? And everybody is interested in sending messages or browsing on the internet. So they are all connected to everything else but whatever it happens in the subway, or connecting everybody, anything else but the person next to you. Accessing social network sites through mobile devices is increasing every day, and you know that because of a highly portable nature of the mobile devices. They are the most frequently used items to communicate. As more and more people tend to use smartphones or tablets instead of personal computers or laptops, it's worth discussing to a certain extent, but they are very useful by all means. But there might be an issue somewhere when it's about different projects or assignments that have to be done in online meetings at work. For example, when some important meeting has to take place somewhere, because of the limited screen, there should be a problem there. And we are going to discuss now about the social media networks in detail. Okay, now, I mentioned some of the most popular social networks, and then I'm going to ask you about some others that I haven't mentioned here on this special purpose, to listen to your ideas, to listen to your comments upon different other platforms. Okay, Facebook. You know, it's a popular networking tool that is used for communication, exchanging knowledge, and sharing information, with special features such as being able to communicate, to chat with different people all around the world. Okay, this is very important because it was created to provide opportunity to contact close people on the one hand, and to make new acquaintances, or to reach a person still unknown to you on the other hand. Anyway, it is the largest network and one of the most widespread in the world, with over, I don't know, 1 billion, over 1.5 billion. The figure increases every day, the figure of users each month, meaning that almost half of the world's connected populations uses this platform at least once a month. And you should tell me if I'm right or wrong as far as each one of you is concerned. Now we pass on to Twitter. Okay, Twitter, you know, that is one of the most popular services as well in micro blogging. This service was designed by Jack Dorsey in March 2006, and it was launched in July of that year. Okay, its main objective is to design this service in order to share short messages constantly between friends. Okay. As far as Twitter is concerned, it's important that it allows writing and sending messages of maximum 140 characters over the internet. Of course, it's used by many people, as I mentioned there, even by the alumni or in other people in institutions. It's also used by journalists or by famous actors because they get information in a very short while. And as information circulates very, very quickly, people feel it necessary to have it at the spur of the moment. Okay. Now, YouTube. Nothing's new about YouTube, or everything's new each and every time. Okay, so you know, it's a social network with which helps users download and upload videos, as well as enables them to interact and comment on their videos. Provides a huge number of features to help different categories of users to discover videos on the internet, their videos or other videos on the internet. Okay, YouTube can obtain data for how people use these features, and this way, keeping track of the users, this helps a lot this service to be improved. This service, you know, that uses technology to display a wide range of videos, as I've told you, created even by users themselves, or including some excerpts of from television programs or even movies. LinkedIn, the next one, is the most popular networking site when it comes to online business. So it has a special dedication, I should say, to a certain group of people, but not only. It's not so restrictive, nevertheless. It's a platform that allows business people and professionals all over the world, regardless of their industry, to connect with other professionals in a business-oriented social network. And its purpose is to build a connection between professionals and companies. So in a business world, it's very, very important. And most of the people on this social network are registered to exchange information, experience, and to discuss, to approach business ideas, business issues in order to solve them or to develop them furthermore. Now, MySpace, the next one. The next one I mentioned just because just because it exists. Of course, some of you might say it's a relic, ma'am, so nobody is using it currently. Yes, it's okay with that, but is an online social network site where users build a profile page to communicate with millions of other users worldwide. Again, okay. MySpace users customize their profile page with words, photographs, pictures, music, biographical information, and other textual icons. Anyway, was a very popular so-called social website, which offered and still offers, but for a more I don't know, for a more restricted number of users. Offer this type of users the possibility to create an international network of friends, profiles, and so on. It aimed at becoming a dedicated platform for music and entertainment. The software applications used for playback or organizations of audio and video music files is always important to mention. Communication networks. Now about in this area, we should also mention in a nutshell that this is this type of network, communication network, is the pattern of directions in which information flows to and fro in the organization, and channels of communication are either formal networks or informal networks. Okay. Now, as for formal networks, we should say that they follow the authority chain and are limited to task-related communications, whereas the informal network is free to move in any direction, so it has a free circulation. It skips authority levels and is as likely to satisfy good group members' social needs as it is to facilitate, to enable task accomplishments to be fulfilled. Now, let's speak. Now I'm going to ask you. That's your task now, because I was speaking a little bit about the issue, the main issue, and now I'm going to ask you, and I would like you to be very cooperative, which of these social media websites do you use, and why, and what other websites do you not use, or if you ceased to use them, why did it happen? If you know any other social media websites, we are going to mention. So, who is willing to take the floor now? For the first and second question, we may couple it in only one, because it's more or less about they are more or less about the same thing.
Can I give it a try?
Yes, please.
So my name is Carmencita.
Yes, hello.
And currently I don't socialize too much on media networks. I do consider them very useful up to a point. They're very useful for keeping in touch with friends, long lost friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to have a real presence on these websites, you need to dedicate a lot of time. And at the moment, I consider that I do not have this time, or the time that I have is, I can find a better usage for it. I do have a Facebook account. I do have LinkedIn account. and I have to use them a lot. But at the moment, I consider they are too time consuming, and I can't stand the idea of people, as you said, on the metro, on the subway. They can't see the trees, they can't see the forest because of the trees.
Yes, yes, you put it very well. Yes, okay,
They
just
will
like
talk
that.
to their friend across the metro by phone, by WhatsApp.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
that's my opinion. Short and to the point.
Imagine how many times you get on the subway and you cannot see a person reading a book, or many few
People
people
still read
do
books.
that. Pardon?
Do people still read books? Don't they read them online?
Yes, sometimes they read online, but it's very seldom the situation when you see people reading the books like that with the book in their hands, and you used to
They
do
don't know
long
what they're
ago.
missing. The smell of the book, the feel of the book.
People might say we are very old age. Speaking of that, I suppose.
I think I'm the oldest here.
Okay, thank you, Carmencita, for your intervention. Somebody else, please.
I also would like to share my experience with using different social medias. I use, for example, Facebook and Instagram, or as well as I have my channel on YouTube, where I post educative videos about languages which I speak and teach. And but I need to say that, yes, it's very time consuming. I agree with Carmencita. And in order to really do something with social media, to develop your page, you need to spend a lot of time. And
Yes.
it's not only the ideas you have, but the technical point as well is very important. You can have a lot of ideas and you can have really good content, but if you cannot organize it and post it, and if you don't know the strategies of social medias, it's incredibly hard to succeed. And but as well, I'm very aware of the fact that actually all users, we think that we are users of social medias, but we are products for global companies which sell our interests. For example, every time we search for something, or every time we post, for example, I like this movie, I like this book, I like these shoes, etc. They collect the information globally, and then they sell it somehow. There are this, even if we have only email, we are not speaking about Instagram, but about Gmail, for example. And then we search for something else and we see all kinds of these ads. Because they already sold our data, what we are interested in, and now we see other kinds of books we can purchase, and shoes, and etc. So I'm very aware of this fact. But I really need social medias for now, because it is the tool for me as well to start to as well to promote myself. Because as I
to
want
make
to be
yourself known.
Yes, because
To the
as
others.
I'm planning, and I'm actually I'm doing it right now, my teaching career, to teach different languages and like to develop my skills. That's why I really need this positive feedback and negative feedbacks as well. So that's why I dedicate some time, and even if I want to do something else, I want to, for example, spend more time outside, or I don't know, maybe go to the mall instead, but I decide for myself to spend this time and post on Instagram, on YouTube, just for that, because it's a tool for my profession as well.
How many followers do you have now, Tatiana?
Not so much. On YouTube, I have only 300 followers.
Wow.
Only.
Wow.
But right, 300 and even more, 12 probably. Yes, last time I checked. But my content is not, you know, constant, because I'm interested in many things. I'm interested in Russian language as my native language. I'm interested in English, in French, in Romanian. That's why it's a bad thing actually for my channel, because I have many different information and not a one thing. But usually people follow some channels because they're interested in something. For example, they're interested in Russian language and they are following different Russian language channels. But I have many things together. I cannot decide what do I like more for now. That's why I really, it's a little bit hard for me to decide. And that's why I decided to present everything on the different level. What I have now, in order to maybe later to choose only one thing, but later, not now. I cannot choose.
Tatiana, you made, sorry. Tatiana, you made a good point. That is, nothing is free on the internet.
Yes.
No.
You give your consent, and they do what they want with you as a product.
Yes.
When you say this is, you know, from WhatsApp to Facebook and so forth, it's free. Even the Gmail is free that you don't have to pay immediately, but you're paying indirectly because they are using you as a product in some ways. There are companies who get all the data and use you as to know what you want to buy, to know what to feed you with, and so on, even on a world perspective. So, I mean, one of the big issues now, I think that Christina will speak about is security. How far are they using you? It's not just a question of using you, me, everyone here, but it's a question of how far they are using. For instance, I bought one of those watches with, you know, for fitness and so on. They wanted access to my photos. They wanted access to everything. I threw it away. Okay. Why do they want access to my photos and my videos? Okay. What for? And so forth. This was just an example. So how far do they want to control us? I mean, Big Brother is with us. That is the internet.
That's true. I was going to speak about that a little bit later. Yes, please, Tatiana. Go on.
I just wanted to add about that. Really, this is a TV series or only a movie on Netflix, The Social Dilemma, and it said that these creators of social media, they are afraid of what they've done, because yes, they don't have the regulations of how many data they use and how deep they go. That's why this is the real problem for now, to make these regulations so that they do not go over, they do not exaggerate, but actually they exaggerate for now with our data using.
Yes, quite true, quite true. Because you mentioned about that security, and I was going to mention that in the negative aspects or negative effects of social media networks. Now I started in a positive way, just to be optimistic, even if we mention the negative ones we are very much aware of. Okay, social media has some positive effects, and you are going to see them mentioned here, some of them, of course. What I should say, apart from that, is that social media is good for us to a certain extent, and we should take benefit of it. But many people use social media to make themselves hard to higher authorities, because they find it a way of expressing themselves. They may go out of isolation using social media. They, as I told you before, they find out on the spur of the moment new things, new facts they are interested in, new events all around the world. But anyway, it's a good channel for young people to get to the labor market, because they find many openings available through these networks, and apply by sending their CVs here and there where they find an opportunity to an employer they are interested in, and that's very important. And the fact that you share interest, we share ideas, is very good for people, because these bring people, all these things bring people together and allow people to chat, to share ideas, to contradict one another. And that's how we debate, that's how we develop new issues for discussions, for approaching, or we may find solutions for others we haven't found solutions for previously. What do you think about the positive effects? Apart from what is mentioned here, I must say again in a nutshell, what other positive effects could social media have on our lives?
I think that the ability to express our thoughts and our opinion, because, for example, for me, my pages, they are a safe space to express what I think, and I really use it to share my thoughts and my opinions of things I like and things I know or learn. And that's why it's a great opportunity. Before social media, we could only write articles and maybe, for example, communicate it orally. But now it's, and everyone can read it, and everyone can see what you think and maybe make his or her own opinion. And I as well read others, for example, and see what they think. And that's why not only newspapers and radio, TV, and but other sources of information. Of course, sometimes people write bad things or wrong things, but it's good and bad together.
Yes, right. Could it be a help for introverted people who otherwise, when we met in physical form, refrained from saying many things, or simply didn't go outing with anybody just because they felt it was much better to stay alone and to think over and over and read at home without socializing?
Yes, as I said, it's a safe space. If you
thing.
create it, if you are mindful about what you are doing, and if you do it in terms of, I mean, you do not offend anyone and etc., then you really can make it as a safe space and to say everything you want and to find people who think the same and to make a small community. Maybe it's 100, maybe 200 people, but it's a small community, and that's great, I think.
Okay.
The same interest can share the same opinion on different topics, and also for people from different country, they can do a language language exchange with other people that it was impossible back in time.
Mhm.
Now I think there are many pluses in social media also, not only the negative side. There is also a positive side that helps us a lot. For me, I'm very grateful that I live in this 21st century when I can share my opinion with my friends or other people from the other side of the world. I mean, I think this is great.
Yes, right. It's quite great. So,
Can I add one more?
yes,
idea?
please, Carmencita, do
There
so.
are lots of, it's also very useful for organizing certain events. For example, if there's a certain campaign for, let's say, cleaning up this part of the city, or planting trees, or doing things like that, sometimes you don't know about them. And, the social media helps us to organize these things, or
Mhm.
even adopt animals.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, you're quite right. You're quite right. So,
Can
there
I add
is,
something?
yeah, please do.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Carmen, and I'm from Italy. I'm a student
Yeah.
from Italy, and I would like to say that I'm a huge fan of social media because I'm a student, but I kind of work with them because I run the social media profiles for my family business.
Mm.
And so I would like to say that there are, of course, some negative aspects, but we have to use them in a very wisely way, because due to COVID-19 pandemic, of course, we have to spend a lot of our time online. So, for example, a lot of people use the social media to look for information about COVID-19, or also to study, to work. And me, for example, I decided to start the online business for my family business. And I created these Instagram profiles, and we sold a lot thanks to Instagram. So one of the most positive thing is that you can reach a lot of people from all over Italy. I'm speaking for my personal experience. We had a lot of orders, for example, from Milan, and we are in the south of Italy. So it helped a lot.
Yes, it helps the development of your.
Yes, yes. And now we have like 1,000 followers to the
Wow.
page. Yes, and I
huge
am
number.
a creator, I can say, because I take the photos, do the graphics, the post, stories, everything.
Yes.
Now, it buys you a living, actually.
Yes, yes.
I was always thinking that our students need more digital skills providing from our faculties, and in foreign languages, it's becoming more and more important to teach our students digital skills. This is something that we really should consider.
Yes, there are a lot of online courses. For example, Google has given the opportunity to follow Africans if someone is interested in. That is
but
called
when you integrate
digital.
all of that into your prospective profession and it is offered within a course, I think it's much better. And translators use more and more softs and machines. And while it isn't the best way of dealing with things, it buys you a lot of time. And then you can just edit the text and go through it. But it would be fair to say that it buys you a lot of time in writing, in typing, with the main vocabulary.
Honorina, I am a translator.
Yes, I know.
English. No, I'm a translator, and I used to type the translations. Now that I use the internet and the computer, I translate double.
Yes.
Times.
Oh, yeah.
I used to type the final script 4 times. So please, I know that. No, I wanted to say, Honorina, in our course in Benevento, we have a special lessons on digital humanities and languages. So this
is something that we should borrow, learn, and introduce in our programs as well.
And I spoke to the professor last week, and we're going to create an even more adapt program for the students in languages. So there is this course. I know there are things online, but it must be an official exam. I insist on that.
I see all of those reactions, so we really need to amend our curricula.
If I might say something, in last year in March or in April, when the pandemic was declared, the Cambridge University organized certain events, certain webinars, where they gave a lot of information on how to teach a foreign language online, and how even information related to using Zoom. It was absolutely fantastic. I know I attended a few of them, and they helped me a lot.
Yes, it's very nice to have them for the first step. I also attended all of those webinars, and the thing that they haven't presented was how to translate all of this pedagogy into online teaching, because they dealt with digital conference tools. They explained how to use Zoom, and then how to use a Moodle or an open course. But we also need to develop some skills for the online teaching, because it is quite different, and we should be the first to acknowledge that we weren't prepared for that. We were taught some very classical methods of teaching that we can't use anymore.
They did give a few hints, but not just a few hints.
Yes, this is something new, and I'm sure that they will develop it into some bigger projects or books.
Honorina, at our university, there's a master, an online master on, it's in Italian, on how to use online digital teaching. So, so we are, you know, yes,
Right.
there's an
online
ahead
of us.
Good to take into account.
Ahead of us. It's not us, but the people in pedagogy who are very good at this in Italy, I must say. Great. They should share it more with all of us, but they are, you know, there is this master in online teaching, different online teaching for different purposes.
Great.
Interesting. Good to take into account. We need that too. Yes. As you said, meeting, being together, we find out new things that maybe we can adjust to our situation, to our university. It's worth taking into account, nevertheless. Okay, now about negative effects. Some things have been already mentioned, the fact that we become products, the fact that we have no intimacy, let's put it like that, we are being sold, and we are going to be very cautious, to be very careful about that. Here there are mentioned some other issues, other effects. The fact that if we don't meet face to face, the fact that we are together by means of a screen, so we think that we lack that flow of feelings, that I don't know, the real value of our ideas, of our emotions. Is it true or not? Because here is something is, I mentioned that we cannot grasp, we cannot notice the other people's accent, intonation or mimicry. So could we sense the other person in a more difficult way, being on the screen? Or the relation is the same? Are we longing for the previous meeting, our previous days face to face? Or is it better like that? Or is it just the same? What do you think?
It's not
Is
the
it
same,
better
of
like
course.
that, or do you think it's better to see us face to face, to chat face to face?
I think
It's
sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
My
you
name is
didn't interrupt.
Loredana. I think each option has its merits. I mean, interaction face to face definitely it's has positive effects on us as people, but you can't deny the fact that meeting face to face and online the same time, or not seeing or not seeing each other, just meeting online. You can deny the fact that for example, for shy people, it might create, as Tatiana said,
A boundary,
a safe
bound.
place, a safe environment. Not everybody is as skilled as
Sociable
teacher,
attitude or what?
yeah, to socialize. So creating a safe place, a safe environment might be a little bit challenging, but definitely will I don't remember the word. It would be good for a category of person.
Or maybe they should start online,
yes, and develop their
open
skills and their personalities. It's as well as for introverts.
It's a step. It's a step.
It's a step. It might be a step, and online socializing online might be a very important beginning for people with shyness or with difficulties. Same time, it might be easier for as Professor Mihaela said, for people with financially challenged background to express ourselves politically correct. So using social media, online platforms to read a book, for example, for a person that it's flat broke.
Yeah.
Okay, it might be easier. I mean,
yes.
For a platform, the average payment for a month as it's not so high. To buy a book in real life, it might be difficult for
many people, yes.
For many people.
As unemployment has a very large rate.
It's rising. Unemployment, it's rising. It's difficult for children, for families with many children, for
support
families,
the
yes,
yes.
for one-parent families, for families that for children with that have parents with less social skills or professional skills. So yes, it is a good thing to communicate online, to use online platforms, but at the same time, it has to be done with a certain measure. I mean, of course, if you realize the effects as Tatiana does, it's her challenge, it's her option. The thing to control how much expose yourself and how much you let yourself consciously be used. How much you want to be a product. I mean, I can order a book online and certainly I will receive a lot of messages about books. That doesn't mean I have to access all messages that I receive. It doesn't mean I have to buy all the books I read about. It's a temptation, okay? You have to control that somehow.
Yes, quite true.
So that's my personal.
Yes, of course, it's a personal viewpoint. It's okay with that. Somebody else.
I think it depends on us how much you want to increase positive effects and decrease negative effects.
Yes.
I mean, for a certain measure, you can control this. If you don't let platform and online time be too much, it means you can control the effects, as Carmencita did. She said she considers too much time consuming, so she took control. It depends on us how much control we have over positive effects and negative effects.
Thank you very much.
Carmen, you wanted to say something?
Ceylan wanted to say something.
Carmen was before.
Yes. Sorry. Oh, yes. I didn't have control.
Great.
I was saying that for me, of course, it's better a personal meeting instead of using this kind of social, for example. But as the others said, it's very important, for example, for shy people to create this kind of bond and maybe to start a better relationship. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Okay, I feel like the difference between online and face-to-face, for me, if I may speak, I am a really introverted person. So it is quite hard to speak up. But I feel like as a negative effect, online, I feel like I can just mute my mic and with no camera, and it's just good for me because I'm not talking or I'm not answering questions. But I feel like face to face, I get out of my comfort zone, so that pushes me to think and answer because I can't hide.
It
So-
challenges your fears.
Exactly. So it's challenging me, but like in a good way. So I feel like online, that's definitely a negative effect. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you for your viewpoint. But once you have known that person online for a while, is it helpful for you to meet the person then face to face and be open? Can you get out of that hiding place of yours?
Yeah.
You mean online or?
No, you have been online with a person, with a group of person for a while.
Oh,
And all of a sudden you are to meet in town, to drink a tea, as has been already mentioned. Do you feel open? Do you express your ideas freely? Do you feel more comfortable?
yes, of course, because
So it's helpful. It's a step. It's a step for.
I need time to get to know how the people are, or yeah, definitely time.
That's very, very interesting. That's very interesting. Some other persons? Some other.
Can I just say something? There are many positive effects on, in using social media. But one thing the student, the young people, not the students, say in general, young people should know that they shouldn't believe everything they read on the internet.
Yes.
Because you started by saying that we have written texts on the internet. These written texts are not claimed many times. Anybody could have written them. There's no responsibility. And they should not believe that the written texts on the web have the same value of the written text that we have signed and taken responsibility of. I mean, I have some students, but I got it on the web. What does it mean?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't believe everything you find on the web. The web is full of fake news, and they sell the fake news very well. The point is that young people, as they don't have a cultural, a huge cultural background, don't know how to recognize what is true and what is untrue. So please, when you see written texts on the internet, never believe that they are true. They may be true. I'm not saying they're not true all the time, but they are completely different from the written text you find elsewhere. They're not the same thing. So the problem of fake news and responsibility is one of the big issues on speaking of negative effects of the media.
Yes, you are quite true, right, Oriana. Even when students write their diploma papers, they rely only on whatever they found there on the market. They don't read. The royalty, the authors are very, very important. They are the reliable source where you can get information, true information, over-checked information, something that is valuable in itself. So not everything is Wikipedia. What's that? What's that? We should read whenever, wherever, in any kind of situation. If we read online, it's okay. If we have a book before bedtime and have some pages read, a chapter read for our diploma paper is more reliable than getting information that we generally speaking don't check. We take for granted everything. No, that's not okay with that. Yes, you are quite true, Oriana. Yes, Carmencita.
There's another thing that is happening, and this is extremely dangerous. A lot of people are becoming doctors. I have certain symptoms. I Google them, and then I start treating myself. This is very dangerous. But unfortunately, it's happening quite a lot.
Can I say something? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, please.
Okay, I understand what Madam Oriana said. So don't believe everything that it's posted on internet. My thought is that we cannot take everything or anything for granted. You have to check and check again, and you can do
Double
this.
check.
Yes, double, triple check, whatever.
No.
But I think that this is a lesson every person has to learn in life. And if you learn it as soon as possible, it's going to be beneficial for you as a person. So background check for that information, talking about the languages, can be only books published already on paper. Even if we can find those books on online form, we can read a book that is already published on an author online. It's the same thing that as you bought it from the market. So checking and double checking, it seems a good idea, and I believe that it's a habit we have to acquire.
Yes.
Very
thoughtful. Please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think my connection is very bad. Okay.
Yes.
So one major negative impact that I noticed in the past year is promoting on social media of a fake life and fake influencers, if I may say so, celebrities that are promoting an unhealthy style for grown-ups. Is very easy to spot them, to see they are fake, but for the young generation, this is very dangerous. The fact that they see them as role models. And also another major negative that is on social media is the social media bullying. It's very easy for us in the back of a computer or even fake identity to start bullying people online, which is very dangerous. Also, like young kids, they don't realize what they are doing and they just fall into this trap.
Yes, quite true. It's as dangerous as is bullying as a phenomenon in our real life, not only virtually, but all the phenomena, all the processes in real life are now online, and they are the same dangerous, as Oriana has already said previously. We are products, and we must be very, very careful how long or how much we unveil our identity. We shouldn't be put on shelves there for everybody to purchase us. No. We are not for sale. No, not at all. We are individuals. We have our personality, of course. We share ideas. We disclose some things if we would feel like doing that. To persons, we choose very carefully if it's to be so. But as Oriana said, we don't want to be, I don't know, exhibits there for everybody to check us, to analyze us, to buy us, to win over ourselves entirely. Okay, as for, very, very interesting. I think that this topic should be approached much larger because anyway, it's a very important current matter. Okay, now I mentioned here some characteristics, but I think that we all know that because they are interactive, and we have already mentioned that in a way or another. They are community driven, and of course, they bond people with the same principles. We are members of the same group. Okay. We discover new friends. We find people that we feel very much connected to, people we wouldn't have known otherwise. As relationships, we should be very cautious how we keep, if we are to keep some relationships, or we may drop if we find it necessary. It's very interesting this when you have 20 contacts and you probably note or an update on that page, that content proliferates across the world, so everybody should know about you. Emotion over content, this is very interesting. This is, I consider it just as it is, with this heading, a subject to be approached in detail, because I feel we should pay very much attention to emotions, to thinking, and to the context of our speech, of our assertion, or whatever we are going to communicate to the others. Okay, and then yes, and then the main features as follows are the same as we have already mentioned. As a conclusion, of course, we realize that it helps improving our social life. There should be always a balance between online and real world interaction. We cannot stay all the time in front of computers. We need outing, we need socializing, because otherwise we got stuck in there. Of course, social media for many purposes is very, very useful by all means. And as it maintains our relations with people across the world, where for a reason or for one reason or another we cannot get, a place where we cannot get, it's very, very important. If it hadn't been for this type of communication, for this advancement in technology, we couldn't have known each other.
Sure.
Not at all. I wouldn't have heard about Oriana. I wouldn't have heard about all my guests today. And that's a good opportunity, because as all the things around us change, we must be take care for the things to change in a good way. I don't know, to do everything it stands in our power not to deteriorate things around us, because our environment should be preserved. And as far as we preserve the environment and preserve good relations, it's there might be a very good outcome for everybody and for everything around us. Okay, that's all, my dear guests. Now, if you want to say something else, I'm all ears.
Christina,
yeah,
I'm glad you finished with what we're doing today. It's true. I'm well aware of all the positive and negative effects of the web. I wanted to share with the students, because I'm sure you know that Zoom, this program, because before we used Skype, Zoom was invented by a Chinese who had relatives in USA to contact his family. He made it, then he went to USA to have a PhD, and now he is a Chinese American billionaire because he invented Zoom. Zoom was born because he had relatives far from China in the US, the other side of the world, and he couldn't see them. And Skype, as you know, doesn't work very well in China. So he invented this program, and we are using Zoom because you see that connection at the basis of it was connections of people who have migrated and are all over the world. So this is one of the positive inventions, let's say, that we are using today in a pandemic. So I want to finish on a positive note, thanking Christina for her very interesting and stimulating talk today. And I hope we can continue with these sharing information from different perspectives. I thank her. I thank all the students in Bucharest and in Italy, and we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
And keep in touch online so far.
Oh, sure.
We have no other choice.
Count on that, Christina.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.